So I want to talk for a bit about Aristotle's wheel paradox, if you haven't heard of that. So if you take a wheel, you have the rim and the outer wheel, right? And each one has a different circumference, right? So, but when the wheel rotates, even though they each are transversing a different distance, they're going at the same speed over the same time. And so there's a paradox, right? So because speed equals distance over time. And so if circumference was a real distance, you would have a paradox right there. So physics gets around this by using the idea of angular speed, right? There's no reality to the idea of circumference when they're actually calculating these velocities. But the problem with that is that all our force laws, like gravity, electromagnetism, they all have an inverse square law, right? 1 over r squared. That square is coming from the idea that, like, the flux of force through a surface area, surface area equals pi r squared, right? So this is a problem, because if there are no surfaces in nature, right, it's just a product of our left hemisphere creating these abstract geometrical forms using either or statements, which we call equations, and also, for plotting points, they're basically like little if-then statements. So the other problem is circumference equals 2 pi r, right? Or pi times diameter. And so that means that pi isn't a real thing either. Pi is a lie. That's what I like to say. Sometimes you don't want to say that to math people. They get mad. But we live in a hypernatural, or they live in a hypernatural, the natural that is already represented by our left hemisphere with numbers and geometrical forms. It's all confusing. What we experience with latitude and longitude lines, or like thinking that it's composed of latitude and longitude lines, whether it's in terms of numbers or geometry, right? Even, geometrical forms like Einstein's space-time, especially when you apply it to the Big Bang, right? And you have like a Zeno-like paradox for the expansion. And that's interesting. Meaning, like, in order to expand, if geometry is indefinitely divisible, right? In order to expand, the units within those would have to expand. And in order for that to expand, the units within those units would have to expand. You see, it creates this problem where nothing can ever expand. When I was younger, trying to apply for colleges and stuff, I wrote an essay about how I thought that space-time would have to be like fractional. Like, it'd have to be some kind of trick to get over that problem, the Zeno-like paradox. Like, it'd have to be like in between infinite and finitely detailed or something like that. I didn't really know, but it took me like 20 years to realize, like, it's the whole thing that's the problem. We're projecting this geometry onto nature. We're not looking for like a special trick. The trick is to throw it all away and start over.